Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the very first entry of the Fragcast. Yes, Fragrance Podcast. It's a portmanteau. My name is Manny David, joined by,
Kristo MAVES.
and we are here to introduce something a little different to the Fragcomm. And we hope you like it. Yes, pretty much a fragrance podcast. Of course, Kristo, where are you from? What channel?
BetawiBlood.
So BetawiBlood on YouTube, and then myself, I'm CascadeScents. And we kind of came to agreement on this because Fragcomm's kind of lacking this very informal conversational type of material on a weekly basis. Not sure how often we'll be able to do this, but it's something that we'd like to do, and we hope you guys enjoy it. So, Kristo, do you want to tell us about where you're from and your channel, where you stand like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, first off, weekly might be a bit ambitious, but let's see how it goes for now. So I basically am mostly known on YouTube for reviewing fragrances, perfume, cologne, whatever you want to call it. My channel is BetawiBlood. I've got a pretty good subscriber base. You know, I'm not by far not the biggest YouTube reviewer, but I really like my subscribers, my viewers. They're definitely on the same plane as me. They're people that come to my channel who have a similar taste. So, you know, I'm not necessarily complaining about, you know, the noobs or anything, but I get a lot of people that are kind of on par with what I'm doing, and I really like that. So I'm quite proud of my small but, you know, pretty devout following I have. As well on Facebook as well. I don't have any Facebook groups or anything for myself, but I'm in quite a few. I'm actually quite easily accessible on Facebook.
All right, so yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, Kristo. You definitely have one of the more rabid subscriber bases because you guys are super particular about what you like, and I respect that. And that's kind of like why we're coming together here, because my taste is a little bit more balanced in that case, as far as I'll like a lot of basic stuff. I definitely prefer certain things and whatnot, but on CascadeScents, I'm an upstart YouTube reviewer for fragrances, of course, and I think that, if anything, I'm production heavy for sure, which you're definitely.
I'm not. I've been around for, I think it'll be 5 years, maybe this
is.
April, yeah. And I have the most basic, minimal editing. I can't say skills or ability. I know how to do it a bit. I just can't be bothered.
Okay.
It's just like, you know, shoot it, get it raw, and put it up.
Yeah.
I just not really what I'm about. It's just kind of, for me, it's just all content. I don't really worry too much about, you know, editing or intros and music. And, you know, there's people out there, most reviewers do that. And,
Yeah, no, for sure.
you know, that's fine with me, just not how I run my channel.
Yeah, no, like watching your videos it's more like watching someone read their bass notes review aloud.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what brought me to this, is because I like this kind of less formal, but, you know, kind of more in-depth approach than rather, you know, just sitting and talking about presentation and talking about, you know, how well things spray, which, again, there's nothing wrong with doing, but, you know, to me, you know, I want to get in and, you know, get to the meat and stuff and, you know, kind of exploit
That's what you care
that.
about, yes.
Yeah.
So, it's basically watching you pontificate on how you test out a fragrance and what you get out of it. So you'll basically touch on performance. Your nose is hella better than mine, and yeah, you know, I kind of want to lean towards that direction eventually. As soon as I approach a lot more facets into fragrance journey, I'm kind of a rookie at this, despite being around for about a couple years. Fragrantica, never really doing reviews on anything, but of course I want to engage more into the Fragcomm itself. I have a broadcasting background, so why not try to make fragrance videos? And
Yeah.
I had a video for Jubilation 25 Man by Amouage, and that was my first video. Received decent acclaim from people, which I was over the moon by. So I started to make more videos again, it got addicting because I felt like I was making a contribution, and I wanted to entertain with not just my analysis, but obviously my production, obviously the stuff that I have the time to care for, but it's also what I enjoy doing. So that's why I do things the way I do. But yeah, I want to be also not just known for reviews and becoming more in depth at that, like I mentioned earlier, but I kind of want to make more laid back kind of content, emotional content, more so become known as a fragrance related YouTuber instead of just a reviewer as well. So maybe I'm going to look at that down the line. But
yeah, I'm definitely kind of
you're
moving
solely
away.
A reviewer.
What's that?
Are you solely a reviewer right now?
Yeah, kind of. But that's another reason why I wanted to get into this was because I am kind of getting bored with, the just kind of, cut and paste review.
Okay.
And I want to do things on my channel where I just kind of sit and talk about a fragrance, but, it's so much more entertaining when there's someone else to do it.
All right.
So like Eugene, who will probably be on this podcast eventually, if you're familiar with him or not, when we get together, we do videos and we can riff off each other so well, and, we can, just talk quite candidly and openly for so long, so easily. It's, kind of what really interests me in this, because as many great fragrances out there as I want to review and, kind of put out there, I just kind of get bored with this is how it smells, these are the notes, this is how much it costs, and, there's just so far you can go with creativity when you're talking about reviews. So that's why on my channel right now, I'm kind of doing more
Topical videos.
Yeah, and getting into things that are, talking about a variety of fragrances at the same time, or talking about one genre, talking about one topic, and I'm not reviewing nearly as much as I used to.
Like, you also made a very interesting video about pronunciation as far as people being lambasted for that in the Fragcomm.
Yeah.
And no, I thought that was fairly interesting because, you know what, that's kind of where I was headed with my channel as well. Because we definitely think about things as far as reviewers, about making a video but never really end up doing it. So it's kind of a ballsy video on your part. And I appreciate the fact that you did it, because I come up with some really stupid video ideas that somehow get a decent amount of thumbs up, in which, I'll talk about scenting superheroes, for example, and that kind of stuff. And I just want to keep it, I just want to kind of do a video the way I see things in my head, that kind of thing. So that's what's up with us, for the most part. As far as where you like your fragrances, or what kind of fragrances you like, how would you describe your taste if you had to?
Okay, now a classic question you get asked by people when you're new into the Fragcomm, or people become aware of you, people start asking, what's your signature? And I've kind of gone through different phases with my signature, but I would say at the moment I don't actually have one. Because my taste is changing so much and so fast, it's hard to keep up with what fragrance I would like to permanently have connected to my name. So, like the first fragrance I tried that really, really stood out to me, like in my newer era of fragrance reviewing, would probably be Prada Amber Pour Homme. We talked about this the other day. I was kind of like entry-level, kind of mid-range designers, and I was blind buying so much stuff, and I got this one in the mail, and it was by far the most expensive thing I had purchased to that date. And I got it in the mail, and I opened it up, and I was like, wow, this is like the most glamorous, classy, sophisticated, kind of ambiguous as well, because to me it's really masculine, but it's so powdery and lipsticky and stuff at the same time. So someone who's maybe not as much into fragrance would go, oh, this is so girly, womanly, or whatever. But
man, it's crazy that you say that, because that was like my college signature. I received it as a gift in 2008.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually a top 10 fragrance for me all time.
Really?
Because I have a personal connection to that, because I have a lot of memories with that stuff. Very soapy.
Yeah.
comes off as powdery depending on the climate.
It's
At
not
least
as
on my
like
skin.
baby powdery, which I can't stand,
Yeah.
like sweet baby powder, but it's more of like a woman's cosmetic, which
Kind
I
of.
like. You know,
Yeah,
I can't
a
say
part of me
it's-
likes that too, but yeah, no, I'm about it, and nothing smells more, no nonsense / professional, and I think it's such a great fragrance. And you
Yeah.
said sophisticated.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would describe it that way just because of how easy it is to wear, but it's a great juice.
Yeah.
What can I say
Yeah.
about it? But that was your foray into
That was
this.
like, well, I was already a little ways down my fragrance path at that time, but it was like the first one that like really blew me away. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. This is artistic. It's creative. I don't see it in that light today, but at the time it was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. A few things that stand out to me, Check and Speak number 88. The first time I tried that just floored me. I couldn't believe it. A Tot Libre d'Oranges Rienne, just like out of this world. I bought it on the spot, like literally. Comme des Garçons Champaka. It's like one of the most amazing, lush white florals ever
Wow.
produced. Like it's just stunning. There's a few
How
others.
girly
but
is that, by the way?
you know what? If
Champaka, man. So
you know what, if you're not put off by wearing white flowers,
I love it.
then don't even worry. I'd say it's actually, I wouldn't even say it's girly, because what happens, I think, the girliness in these floral fragrances for women comes from the sweet fruitiness.
Okay.
And Champaka does not have sweet fruitiness, right? So that's kind of what I get when I wear florals. I love florals, but not when they're sweet, not when they're fruity.
Okay. All right. So like we see where your taste comes from. I like white florals too. I'm a big fan of it. Anything that's lush, that kind of thing. But more onto your taste. You're clearly not bothered to wear stuff that might lean towards feminine.
Not at all.
Yeah, because why is that?
Well, to me, it's just like the whole idea of if you're saying, oh, that's feminine, that might be feminine, you're just literally blocking out over half of the perfume world, right?
Exactly.
Like, there's maybe it's changing today because men's perfume market is huge, like bigger than ever in history.
Yeah.
But I would say still, majority of fragrances, designer, niche, indie, are either unisex or on the female side. There's not nearly as many that are marketed directly for men.
So you're basically saying why limit yourself to
Exactly.
almost basic men's taste, which
Yeah.
is typically very fresh, if not very resinous, type scents. So you kind of have either super dark or super light. Nothing. You have your in-betweeners, obviously.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you have a lot more generic scents on the men's side. Would you say? Because I definitely would.
You know, when I scan in my head right now things in my collection that actually say for men, there's actually probably very few, or that are labeled specifically to men. I would say majority of my fragrances are either completely unisex,
Okay.
or female. Like when I compare the two,
All right.
so men's versus unisex and female, I would say I have way more unisex and female. But when you look at things like the entire Chanel exclusives line, they're all marketed for women.
But us guys love that stuff.
Yeah, and when you smell when you smell Sycamore,
Yes.
if you compare Sycamore and let's say 1 Million, okay, which is like super sweet bubblegummy.
Yes.
If you say which one's more masculine, which one's more feminine, I'd say most people would say like Sycamore is
Sycamore.
way too masculine for me.
Absolutely.
And if you ask like an older woman, which one's more feminine, like, oh yeah, 1 Million, it's sweet and fruity,
Yeah.
bubblegummy kind of thing. So yeah, I think if you have that mindset, there's just so many things you're not going to be into. And there are fragrances I've tried that I say, yeah, that's just too feminine for me. I might like it, but I just can't wear that. It is too feminine. But for the most part, I'm all about that.
No, I think it's good to not limit yourself as well. Especially, who cares if, you might smell a little bit more feminine as far as what the status quo thinks.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, fragrances are kind of a personal connection with you and your personal style. Because for me, I'm very utilitarian as far as how I wear fragrances. There's stuff that just automatically in your mind just comes off as more formal.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at wearing a fragrance like I look at wearing a suit, or like looking at wearing a white shirt and jeans. There's stuff that's more casual. There's stuff that's more formal. And, I really could care less about the feel of its sexuality per se.
Yeah.
Because whatever, for me, I actually have a lot of stuff that I wear that, not fragrances, but as far as clothes that might look not as masculine as possible. So that's primarily to why I don't care.
Yeah.
Although a lot of my scents, for the most part, are leaning masculine because maybe I just like the scent more. But, I can't even front. I do have some feminine scents.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there's that. But if anything, as far as those scents, what houses do they come from that you might have? Or what are your favorite houses? Of course, you mentioned Comme des Garçons, definitely one of them.
Huge. Yeah, like with not even thinking about it, my number one fragrance house of all time. I love it. And even, 6+ years into my fragrance journey, I'm just even more madly in love with stuff, even comparing it to stuff that's triple, quadruple the price. I just love so many things from Comme des Garçons. There's definitely things from them I don't like as much as I used to, but some of my favorites like Avignon, 2Man, 2EDP, I still think those are amongst the best creations in the perfume world. Hugely into Serge Lutens, although recently they seem to be discontinuing / not exporting a lot of their best fragrances.
Man, Serge Lutens is, they have some, shit that I just love. As far as, I would... 5 o'clock gingembre, that stuff right there, I fell in love with that shit when I first smelled it.
It's great. I'm not a huge ginger fan, but I was actually, this is pretty good.
You have to give it up for that one.
I've heard that's non-export or will be non-export.
It will be. Yeah. Sadly, that being said, I still found it at Sephora the last time I was there in Square One.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chergui is another one.
Chergui, bit too powdery for me.
A bit too powdery for you?
Yeah, I like it. The opening reminds me potpourri oil cooking at Christmas.
Absolutely.
Which brings me back to years and years ago when I used to live at my parents' house in Canada. But
we are in Canada.
Back in Canada.
Yes.
I lived abroad for a really long time where there was no sign of Christmas for more than a decade. But for Serge Lutens, I would say things that really stand out to me. Tuberose Criminelle, that is one of the most flagrantly outrageous fragrances I've ever smelled. Santal Majuscule, Jeu de Peau, so many. It's such a great house. But like I mentioned, unfortunately, a lot of the really great fragrances are becoming non-export.
Yep.
And the ones that they're coming out with now, like L'Orpheline and stuff,
Actually, I love how accessible they still are for us right now.
Yeah.
And I wish that some of these would stop becoming non-export. And from what I know, I think 5 o'clock gingembre, for example, may or may not be non-export to the U.S. now.
Yeah.
But we still get it here.
Well, I think all it is just the remnants left over from the stock before.
Okay.
So I don't think they're actually going to physically take them off the shelves.
Oh, yeah.
But once they're sold out, then they won't sell them out. Or, they just won't push them. But yeah, I believe it is or will soon be no longer exported. Yeah. So what's on the shelves now, that'll be it. And then it'll become Fumerie Turque, which people just search for rapidly because they can't find it anymore. Which was actually my second bottle of Serge Lutens after Ambre Sultan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that one was a good one too. I'm trying to think of what else I like from that house, but we pretty much
Fumerie Turque, amazing. Okay, again, non-export.
Yeah. So that's that. What's in that note-wise anyway?
Fumerie Turque. Yeah. Oh, amazingness is in it. It's basically, imagine your kind of overhyped school, like kind of posh schoolboy, spicy tobacco, spite, spite. Let me try it one more time. Sweet, spicy tobacco fragrance,
Okay.
but make it for a classy, sophisticated older man.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's sweet. There's tobacco in it, but it's just nothing like those. It's really masculine, very classic. It's meant to smell like a Turkish bathhouse.
Ah, cool.
So it's very dry, very resinous. It's a very classic masculine sweetness.
Nice.
I love it, and I would, without even thinking twice, say that it is my favorite tobacco fragrance I've ever tried.
So if you're talking, it's super masculine,
Yeah.
which you're typically not into as
Yeah.
far as most masculine type scents. Like, this must be good.
I'm actually on a really weird kick lately where I'm into like really macho masculine things that I wasn't into before. Like lumberjack fragrances I'm into now at the moment.
Okay.
Like Frederic Mall's Bois d'Orange.
All right.
Or French Lover as it's known in Europe. Like, I just can't get enough of it. And, you know, a year ago, like, really masculine fragrances put me off, but I just can't get enough of them at the moment. Like,
Is there a reason for that? Because, like, I go on fragrance kicks, too.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, being that you're on this masculine fragrance kick, is there something, like, personal life-wise that, like, led you to this? Because I know when I am on a fragrance trip, for example, like right now,
yeah.
I'm notorious for liking very lush, very green type scents.
Right.
And typically I am all year round, but obviously since it's spring, I feel more inclined to feel that way.
Right.
But as far as just the masculine type scents, is it just because your olfactory is getting bored of the more ambiguous stuff that you were typically into?
Yeah, I think it could be that just because I kind of neglected them. And as well, I should say it's modern masculines as well.
Okay.
I'm really honestly not into like pre-90s masculines. You know, all the classic Poroms and stuff do nothing for me. It's newer, maybe more daring, more interesting things. But maybe it could be that I just neglected them or didn't pay much attention. But I think as well maybe for the very mild winter we had, so we basically had fall and then a second fall right after, which is just like exactly when that genre sparkles and shines.
Absolutely, yeah.
So maybe because we basically had 6 months of really warm, you know, neutral season, which is, you know, kind of darker,
kind of transitioning
grayer
from fall to spring straight up.
Yeah, so I definitely would have used a lot of those then. But yeah, I can't say there's anything particularly that's happened, but I can't say really. It's just kind of where I went, which is funny because like a year ago I was like totally floral, feminine, you know, all that kind of stuff, and then now it's like completely the opposite.
Yeah, because like you were recently reviewing what, like Yadagan Caron?
Yeah, stuff
like that.
Very good example. Yeah, I love that. And it's like, I liked it a year ago, but I was like, yeah, you know what? Not really my style. I'll kind of set that on the burner, the back burner.
So old school, classy, masculine type scent.
Yeah.
Basically stuff that is an acquired taste, even for you, because it took a while for you to get around to this kind of shit. So, no, I get that. No, I'm with that. I respect that. It's just, I'm not quite there yet. I've never really gone for the type of what we would consider daring in this contemporary day and age. But maybe I will be there someday.
You know, I hear people say it's kind of like a natural evolution, you know. It's just a pathway. You start out with the cheaper designers, you go to higher end designers, then you go to like introductory niche, and you go from there. But it's not necessarily the way it can be, but
sometimes your nose gets bored of where you were just at, and maybe it will come full circle for you. Probably will.
And then there are some people who just find their groove and just stay there and they're happy with it. You know, they're like,
there's nothing wrong with it.
I love my Chanel designers. I love my Hermes designers. I love my Dior designers. I'm happy with there. I'm not going anywhere. And, you know, that's cool. But for me, it's just like I'm constantly on the search to find something new, something different. I get bored of things really easily. So if they don't hold my attention, gone. It's to the back of my shelf,
Yep.
right? And I've got like over 100 bottles in Canada. So to make it into my rotation, it needs to be that good.
Okay.
And, you know, it needs to keep my interest.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm with that too. I'm trying to think because I definitely have a defined taste, if anything. It's still kind of basic. But again, I lean towards greener scents.
Yeah.
But I'll have a little bit of everything for, you know, certain occasions.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as passionately, you know, falling head over heels for that, as far as that kind of tip,
Yeah.
is just kind of hard for me to do. It just it happens sometimes. Like I'll rock very incensey fragrances for maybe like a week or two straight because I'm feeling super daring for whatever reason or whatnot, or maybe I'm just super confident about myself, and maybe that's why I want to rock something that is room filling. But otherwise, yeah, I'm super at ease, and maybe it's just because I was conditioned that way, you know. But I don't know. That's probably it. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think, because like, where would I get a lot of these fragrances too? It's kind of hard for me as well, just to put my nose on stuff that I want to get into that I haven't been yet bored with. So if you were to get Comme des Garçons somewhere, or a lot of these maybe higher class designer, if not niche fragrances, like where would you get that stuff? Especially for us being in Canada, where would you buy? Considering our exchange stocks, we don't get a lot of shit here anyway. Like, what are we looking at? What are our options?
Pretty much looking either online in Canada, like the perfume shop, or etiquette. I guess it's actually
etiquette.
I always call it etiquette because that's what it would read in Indonesian.
Yeah.
But
y'all say stuff verbatim the way you read it, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But in terms of like actually walking into a shop, yeah, sadly Canada's nowhere near as good as the United States.
I'd say when we say United States, we're more so talking like highly populated metropolitan areas like NYC. And
Man, but I know guys, like I've got a friend in Texas, and you know, he's like, oh yeah, there's like, he lives in Houston, which, you know, it's big, but I wouldn't even think of it as like one of the biggest cities, you know, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami. And he's like, oh, I can go to Bergdorf's, I can go to Neiman, I can go to here, I can go here, I can go
if you
here,
have
I can go
access
here.
to a Neiman Marcus, like, you're killing it as far as a frag head.
And that's like, you know, in a not even one of the major cities.
I'd say it's a major city, but
well, it is, but like, you know,
not in comparison
not
to
one
Chicago
of the big three or
and
big
stuff like
four.
that.
Yeah. Whereas in like Canada, like in Hamilton, where we are right now, it's, you know, one of the biggest cities in Canada, and we've got a crappy Sephora and a crappy The Bay, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty bad, you know, if you're looking to expand your horizons and try new things.
Because you're going to try stuff so fast there.
Yeah.
And maybe you are looking for something that no one else has access to. And there's nothing callous about that.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the Bay today, though, because they hooked us up with Anika Tell samples.
They were really nice. Yeah, they're actually, you know, as crappy as the perfume selection is there, the sales assistants in Hamilton here, they're so friendly.
Not pushy whatsoever.
No. I've like, going to Toronto, that's a whole different story.
Man,
but
it's bad. Like, sometimes you walk up into a discount perfume shop.
I've actually not... I went into one. Actually, It's funny you say that. I just thought of something. I went in with Eugene.
Yes.
We were driving on the road, and I just saw out of the corner of my eye Dolce & Gabbana By for Men, which is like one of the most sought-after discontinued fragrances ever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they've got By Men, stop right now. And the car screeched to a halt. I jumped out of the car, ran in, and Eugene's like, I'm going to park the car. I'll be back.
Okay.
Went in and I was like, how much is your By Men? He's like, oh, $250. And I was like, forget about that.
Yeah.
And then Eugene came in and parked, and he kind of sidled up to me. I was like, yeah, he wants way too much for it, man. He's like, okay, let's just book it. And the guy was like standing there in the corner. So wherever we went, he would always have to be standing on the other side of us.
Holy crap.
So that he could be watching both of us at the same time to make sure we weren't stealing anything.
I mean, like, Oh, geez. Why are they super suspect of everyone?
Yeah.
Like, you walk in, it's either like, if you're not buying something, they think you're stealing.
Yeah.
Or they
yeah.
give you that impression so you feel like you have to buy something because of that, that pressure. That sheer SA pressure.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, I feel like they're being so xenophobic towards anyone who walks in there.
Yeah.
As if they have no interest in developing, clientele for friends. It's more so like they're never going to see you for the rest of your life.
If you don't come in and start throwing cash around right away, they don't want anything to do with you.
And it's just super tough to deal with that, especially with us in Canada.
Yeah.
When we don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
But, that's the world we live in. We're kind of reliant on decants, splits, that kind of thing. Maybe testing a fragrance out, and then eventually, if you like it enough, you get decent performance as well, you'll probably buy a full bottle.
Yeah.
But a lot of us here, and I was like this maybe a few months ago, if not a year ago, I was pretty bad for blind buying as a result because you got so impatient about not being able to try shit.
Yeah.
And what would you say that's frustrating?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, in Indonesia, when I was first starting out, and even towards like my last year there, so much stuff I had to buy online just based on reviews, based on database sites, based on all that kind of stuff. And it's just like spending a lot of money on something. It comes in the mail, you spray it once and you go, man, it's not very good. Put it in the back of your shelf and it sits there until, I sell it or whatever.
Awful.
Yeah, but I've learned my lesson and I'm really, 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 really strict about it. I still will, but only with things that I've wanted for a long, long, long time and I haven't had,
Or you don't have the opportunity to
exactly.
test whatsoever. Okay.
It's not like before where I just see someone selling something and go, ooh, that might be good. And I'd quickly look it up on Fragrantica or Base Notes and then go, yeah, you know what, I'll buy it. And then I'd get it in the mail. It's like, man, it's not that good.
Yeah.
I should have been more discerning. But I think I know some people who will only buy retail after they've tried it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And you know what? That's cool if that's their style. But with me, it's like, I like to buy things. I like to have new things coming in. And sometimes, I do have to blind buy, although I am getting away from it now.
No, that's good because hella blind buying will add up and you will be so regretting as far as trying to unload shit that you do not care for anymore.
Yeah.
Which is super tough. But it is what it is. To be honest, I already feel that way about fragrances that I might have bought as early as 2 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it happens. And that's that.
Definitely one of my biggest regrets or, my biggest advice for people starting out is, test things, try them first. If you're going to blind buy, do your research, because when you're just trying to amass huge quantities, when you get into the game or when you get into niche. I remember a couple years ago in the Fragcomm, there was this like scurry for niche and everyone that was selling niche was just, selling like that all over the place. And a lot of people just buying, oh, yeah, it's not as good as I thought, reselling it,
because you're
losing money.
A lot of these people are thinking that buying niche is like a security net, as if you buy a fragrance because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And as if it's going to appeal to you, your personality, and it's going to perform on you.
Yeah.
And almost more often than not, it's never the case.
Yeah.
Because you're gambling. You still don't know if that's going to work out for you at the end of the day because it is a blind buy. You have a lot of preconceived notions of it being good, but it's not like you actually researched it. So that's what's up, sadly. But if anything, I gotta stop because I'm still doing it.
But as well, to be honest, there's things from like I said with Prada Amber, when I tried that, probably 5 years ago, maybe a little more than 5 years ago, I was just like stunned, blown away by it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so great. But today, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good, but it just doesn't do the same thing. So even if you're testing and buying things carefully today, 2 or 3 years down the line, it might just do nothing for you. And that's another thing to keep in mind, when you're buying really expensive bottles, especially when you're buying retail and stuff. Just because you like it today or love it today doesn't mean you will in a couple years.
Couple months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easily. Yeah. And my taste has changed so dramatically, kind of every way, shape, and form.
So that's that, guys. If anything, that's where we stand on budgets, niches, blind buying, super dangerous world. Fragcomm in general is so interesting because everything could be so hyped. You might feel like you have this inclination to blind buy stuff, but if I were you, and you're not sure about the Fragcomm, or you're a rookie novice or something like that, I'm not into this game for that long, so I feel like I can say this, but as far as developing my taste, I realize that you should definitely look into the kind of person you are before you just sample fragrances and just try to develop or try to see what just smells good per se. Because you're going to notice that you're going to start going for fragrances that just appeal to your makeup more often than not after you've amassed such a collection. So you might as well have that mindset going into when you buy a fragrance. Just tell yourself that I like this, I like that. I'm not saying to box yourself into not paying attention to the rest of what the fragrance industry has to offer, but definitely know what you like is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about like my audience on YouTube. One thing I love about them is the people that disagree with me, they do it like intelligently and articulately, and we can kind of have a back and forth, and I really like that. It's another reason I'm so proud of so many of my subscribers. They really know their stuff, and I know some guys, no fault of their own, they end up getting people that are really nasty and hateful towards them. Yeah. And I feel kind of bad, but I guess it depends how you approach it.
Man, your channel is the nature of that beast for sure, though. Yeah. Super polarizing audience you got there, which I love because I love seeing the discussion that people have. It's like a mini base notes forum that I'm watching, in your comment section. So, that's that. Like, where my comment section, if anything, is either positive feedback or it's constructive criticism to my production or whatnot. Yeah. Because I can't really offer that. Yeah. Because the stuff that I've been making content on for the most part has been relatively mass appealing. Yeah. Yeah. So, no, but it's good to see that out of your subscriber base, because I'd say most of my subscriber base, besides a lot of the Fragcomm reviewers who are kind of helping me out, the majority of my base is, a lot of them are, growing in the fragrance journey as at the rate that I'm at. Mm-hmm. So we are not as nurtured in this game as you guys. Yeah. But we may or may not get there. Depending on how long we're in this.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I think as well something that's really different, kind of related, but I think is, how many sheer fragrance reviewers there are nowadays. Yep. And I guarantee if you just go to YouTube and type in, Aventus review, you're going to get like 50 different reviewers doing pretty much the same review, and each one will have something slightly different, each one will have something slightly the same. Yes. And one of the big things that I see or witness, especially in my early days, is people will, and myself included, before I was reviewing, I would just find one reviewer I like and then assume that my taste was identical to theirs and just buy everything they liked, ignore everything they disliked. And it, took me a little while to realize, like, wow, you know what? My taste is quite different from theirs. And eventually kind of go, you know what? I think I've kind of outgrown this person. I need to start looking for something different, something else to relate.
Yeah, if anything, if you really, really, really want to make an effort into taking this fragrance journey seriously, you have to find yourself through not just your own eyes, but if you plan on paying attention to these reviewers, us, and giving a crap about what we have to say, do it for a decent amount of us. because if you start to see things through my eyes and solely mine, or solely Kristo's, or solely Mark's, or Steven's, or who else, you're going to notice that you probably don't feel verbatim the way they do, because again, like you said, you're a different person.
Yeah.
And because you're a different person, you should just watch X amount of reviews, and then maybe sometimes this person will lean towards you more often than not, or someone else won't. But I think it's just a good gauge to have X amount of sources rather than one. Just kind of like school, because you want to cite one thing or do you want to cite many things?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're going to miss out on things. If they don't like it, they're not interested in it, you're going to miss out on it, right? Yeah. And I can, of the kind of big reviewers on YouTube that I can think of, I don't think many or any of them will even touch women's perfume.
Yeah.
Just with the women title or with the women's name or something, they won't even touch it. And I think, you end up getting that kind of mentality as well, that men can't wear women's perfume or whatever. It's just a labeling gimmick. It's just like... Yeah.
I feel like that's, acculturation through the industry as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of it is they want to solely advertise for men.
Yeah.
They want to solely advertise for women. They want to solely advertise unisexually, which I think is good. I think we should see more of that. And I think that a lot of unisex fragrances as well, I feel like women, and forgive me if I sound like a misogynist, I don't think I will, is a lot of unisex fragrances, I feel like a lot of women would even consider not wearing, because more often than not a guy will wear. I'm trying to think of examples.
For the reason they won't wear it, for the reason that men do, or they won't
maybe like that, because look at a lot of like Tom Fords, for example, which are always unisex for the most part. Like Tobacco Vanille, for example.
Okay.
Like there's maybe one girl who'll wear that out of 20 guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
See, I think, though, when I smell Tobacco Vanille, and to be honest, I'm not a fan, but when I smell it, I do think of kind of like a rich 22-year-old kid that wants to go and pick up chicks at the club.
That's
which is
what you
just
get
like,
out of it?
Yeah.
Really?
Man, it's so sweet. I just... I don't know, dude, Tobacco Vanille and I do not sit well. I don't like it. Like, to me, if you try Fumery Turk...
Okay.
And this is my taste. This is my opinion. But if you like Tobacco Vanille, try Fumery Turk.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you won't like it, but I bet...
Is that a unisex fragrance, too?
I believe pretty much everything from Serge Lutens is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, they have to be, yeah.
But, try that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, maybe keep it in mind. But it's so hard to try, though. But to me, Tobacco Vanille is just like a really... I'm going to choose my words carefully here.
I want to hear this.
I'm not a fan of Tom Ford. I'm not a fan of sweet fragrances. I'm not a fan of Tobacco Vanille straight up, okay? So to me, Tobacco Vanille is like a really expensive fragrance that would appeal to, for me, the most part, that I would envision in my mind's eye as, just kind of like a rich frat boy, a rich Ivy League,
Okay.
Bro from a sorority house or whatever. That's frat. That's it. Sorority's women, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, but that's to me what it's a dude in a pop collar. What's up, bro? Let's go to the club, bro. Pick up some hoes, bro. What do you want to wear?
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's like the epitome of what it is.
Okay.
It's a guy that can afford to spend $200
just to pick up chicks.
To pick up chicks with his cologne.
All right.
So, the low-end dude might be lower-end dude might be the 1 million guy in the same position.
Man.
And the guy below him might be the axe guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's kind of my path that I go.
So Tobacco Vanille is the pinnacle for those type of fragrances.
Well, I can't say it's the pinnacle, but that's just to me what it kind of makes me think. It's just because it's so sweet.
Nah, it is
and
sweet.
You get kind of a masculine side with the tobacco in it. So to me, as opposed to something like, let's say, Noir de Noir, which is also, very highly regarded in the YouTube community. To me, Noir de Noir leans a little bit more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
I can see women being more interested in that rather than, Tobacco Vanille. But, I know lots of people that love it. It's like such a cult classic, but I never liked it. Honestly, I would list vanilla as one of my most hated notes ever. It's
Can't do it.
so rare that I find a vanilla fragrance that I like. And, perhaps it started the genre or, kick-started the genre. Mm-hmm. But to me, the tobacco, sweet tobacco and vanilla, it's just so overdone and redundant. And to me, juvenile, but that's my opinion.
Damn. No, it sounds about right. Yeah, because I'm trying to think, would someone I know, just because I am 25, and I have friends who are like borderline MRA, go into the club, pick up chicks, literally go on YouTube to watch tutorials on pickup artists and crap like that, which I can't stand them for.
Yeah. And
if anything, they're friends with me because we're privy of knowing each other for X amount of years.
Right, yeah.
Would they buy Tobacco Vanille if they can guarantee that would help them with their situation? Sad part is, they probably would.
What I picture them being like is they go into, Holt Renfrew in Toronto wearing their collar popped up with their 1 million on, and the sales assistant hands them a strip, and they go, holy shit, what is this? That's what I pictured. This is what I've been looking for all my life. This is the step up from 1 million that I didn't know existed.
Okay.
Right. But that's it. I know there's people out there with good taste. But
you're not exactly making a comparison to 1 million.
No. But I see it as a step up.
It's the goals.
Yeah. It's like a very sweet kind of masculine leaning fragrance, that 40 years ago, to think a man would smell like that, you would kind of laugh at them, right?
Yeah.
Which is just a whole nother, show in itself, talking about the paradigm of, gender and fragrance. And But so that's just what it is to me. But like I said, I'm not into vanilla. I don't like gourmands. I don't like anything sweet. It's just, to me, it's just a big no-no for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there as far as the gourmand thing, because I've never found a gourmand that I would really rate at least at 4.5 out of 5, for example. And I think that's because they're so, most of my tastes, if anything, are stuff that has year-round signature scent potential.
Right.
For whatever reason, my nose has got to the point where if I can't see myself rocking this in winter and in summer, then it's probably not going to be one of my more perfect fragrances per se. And then what I realized with vanilla is just like, okay, it's cool, maybe during the holidays and stuff like that, to get in season. But I'm not even that much of a festive person either. So I'm like, when would I want this?
Yeah.
And
you're not wearing vanilla in the summer that often. Not comfortably, or
unless you rock like Ahab or something like that. But I don't know. That's more so lemon. But
for me, I'm kind of the opposite. I want exactly a specific fragrance at exactly the right time. I want to sit and look what will fit what I'm wearing, where I'm going, what the temperature's like.
Again,
I
fairly
want
utilitarian.
That.
Yeah.
I want something so specific for what I'm doing.
That's great. Yeah.
So that's where I think one of our big differences in taste. You want something that you can kind of just rock anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, no, but I'd say I'm like that too as far as...
right, okay.
Yeah, because I have a big collection for a reason, so I could do that.
Right.
But my collection, for the most part, is very ambiguous as far as the seasons is concerned.
Right.
But, for example, I can still rock Italian Cypress by Tom Ford, like, in the winter, I feel like.
I wouldn't touch it in the winter. I love it.
Just because it leans more spring for me. No, I get that too. But yeah, like, I like, if anything, as far as feeling perfect for a season, I really only do that with spring just because I love the season so much. But the rest of the seasons, I'll rock like a Ventus, although it's not the most summer fragrance per se in comparison to like a Virgin Island water or something like that.
Yeah, summer is not a season I particularly like for fragrance. It's
definitely not for you.
Fall number one by far, then probably spring and winter pretty close, and summer's like miles behind.
Yeah,
just because it's so hard to find really good, high quality. Just
I think they exist. It's just you don't like.
They do, but the few that I've found that I really like, I can find really big flaws in them. Like we were just talking earlier about Olfactive Studio Panorama. It really blew me away. Like the first summer fragrance, it's blown me away for a really long time. But after about a half an hour, the dry down's really boring. It's just kind of like a sweet white musk. But the opening, like the first 30 minutes, awesome. If they could keep that without it going flat, that would be an all-star for me. But
and I don't understand either, because obviously it's characterized by its wasabi note.
Yeah.
And wasabi is typically, if you're at a Japanese restaurant, you're definitely going to keep smelling it.
Yeah.
Why is it so volatile in Panorama?
I don't know. I guess it's just a note that's used so rarely that there's just no real reference to it,
I think they wanted to be super subtle with it too, because of how dangerous, or not dangerous, daring it is.
It could be, yeah. There's just no reference point really, other than that I know that uses a wasabi note. So it's like, okay, when I smell the musk in this one, it falls flat.
Yes.
I can say, okay, this one though, the musk really stands up off my skin, whereas the wasabi, it's like I can't compare it to anything. So it's a really, I love it. I like what they did. I just wish that kind of crisp, clean, bitter, green wasabi citrus stayed for the, a couple hours, because I think it's great. But
I think that's all of our resentment towards that fragrance is.
Yeah.
Is that the best part of the fragrance lasts, what, an hour tops?
Tops, like very tops.
Oh my god, yeah.
That and the whole gimmicky image of the house, which I can't stand. But
What's so gimmicky?
Gimmicky? Oh, come on. It's all about photography, and, every fragrance has, like the dial on the cap, and it has,
You don't like that gimmick?
No, I don't like it. I hate fragrance gimmicks so
any
bad.
Gimmick that you do like, though? Because, like, this is interesting, because, like, I always thought that shit was cool with that house.
When you... Okay, what I mean here is I don't like a house where their whole image is a gimmick.
And their gimmick image is images.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Damn.
So, like, for example, you'll get in Comme des Garçons, they'll have a gimmick where they have the synthetic series where everything smells like a synthetic man-made product.
Yes.
But that's a line inside their
So you don't want the
line.
whole house to be gimmicks.
Exactly. I don't want a whole house that just relies on gimmicks and, packaging. I want something that delivers a really good product. So, like, actually, before I got to try any of them, Le Labo was another house that really stood out to me as a gimmicky house with the whole, prescription label with the lab coats and blending them and all the names and the numbers. I was like, oh, what a stupid gimmick. I ended up liking some, and now I pretty much hate everything from the house.
Wow. So you went from hating the gimmick to liking some to hating the house.
Okay, I would say I was very skeptical because when I first heard of them, there were people talking really highly of like Rose 31 and Santal 33. Yes. So I was like, man, I don't like the look of them, but I want to try these. And I actually ended up liking both of them. I don't like Rose 31 as much now, but I love Santal 33.
All right.
But my biggest gimmick house ever that I hate, I've never tried anything from them though, to be honest, was the Blood Concept house.
Oh no!
Like the AB negative and the B positive or whatever.
And there's like iron and shit in their notes.
I hate that. I hate that so much. And that's it. Their whole image relies on that. Like whereas Comme des Garçons, their image relies on the name, the avant-garde fashion house Comme des Garçons.
Which I'm definitely familiar with. We did shoot a Comme des Garçons video not too long ago. And I forgot to flash this in front of the intro of it, but I have my shoebox of this Comme des Garçons play series with Converse. And yeah, definitely avant-garde style of fashion, and I love it. We're talking super conceptual as far as the stuff they're trying to channel mood-wise.
Yeah.
And they'll switch it up because, you know, their designers don't normally feel that way for more than like a year or so.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll have their more classic lines as far as, you know, what they're always going to have, but a lot of their stuff is special editions, collaborations, that kind of thing. And I guess the series with their perfumes is pretty much the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have your incense, you have your...
Yeah, they have so many subcategories. So they've got, incense, leaves, they've got red, the energy line. There's just so many. And they do have a standard non-subgenre line, you know, 2-man, 2 EDP, the original EDP, 2011 EDP, all of that. So, you know, I just... There's a lot of houses that will have subcategories, right? They'll have the house, and then they'll have different subcategories, and each one will have a few different fragrances. But when your whole shtick is kind of giving flashy packaging with, you know, a funny name or an unusual name, and it's just all based around some concept that they have.
Bond number 9.
I'm not even gonna get into them today.
Yeah,
the whole like boroughs of New York, or the whole like all the different areas.
Again, the gimmicks that are way too obvious.
Yeah.
So Bond,
Le
Labo,
Olfactive Studios.
Yeah, all right, respect.
There's there's so many more I could.
So obviously
but...
you're going to be super skeptical of the gimmick, but again, if you find something like that panorama opening, that shit's going to grab you. I respect.
Yeah.
All right.
I just think if they spend more time coming up with a good fragrance than just marketing, then they might be better. That's it. When I try something like Bond Number 9's a great example. And there's definitely fragrances from the house that I really like. I'm wearing I Love New York for him today, and I really enjoy it. But if they would have spent more time coming up with, you know, really good, unique fragrances, or, you know, not even just unique, they can just be like really solid. And there are some for sure, but it just seems like, okay, we got a flashy bottle, we got a high-end, you know, clientele, we're just going to mass produce this stuff.
And for the most part, they bite them.
Yeah, with just like 3 or 4 predominant notes, especially the earlier ones. They were so basic, so simple. And it's like, you know, if I'm paying $100 per 100 mil, yeah, maybe there's definitely more bonds that I would buy. But, you know, for 250 US for 100 mil, even at discount prices, you know, they're getting up closer to $200, like 150 to 200 is like, you know, there's very little from the house I would pay that much for. It's just, yeah, and there's a lot of people that really dislike Bond. Some of them completely dismiss it, and I think that's their own fault, because there are some good things. It's so unlikely that they have 100 fragrances and you can't find one that you would like. And that's, you know, what I think you need to do. You need to go in there and sort it out and find what you do actually like.
Yeah, no, that's true, because we're talking... Most of those fragrances, I'd say, are super inspired by other ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's even a secret, yeah.
That is something that perturbs me about the house.
Yeah.
Anything. But you're going to get your more original scents. Because, like, what does Scent in New York, for example, smell like, if anything? Or, for example, Bleecker Street.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more not as rip-offy, although it smells like Purple Label from Polo.
I've not tried Purple Label, and I haven't tried Bleecker in,
But
years.
see, like, that's one of them where it's just less obvious, if anything, if it has been a rip-off of something or not.
Yeah.
And for me, like, what else?
Well, it just seems like they've just got this big long list of area names in New York, and then they've just got a big list of ingredients or notes.
A lot of times, yeah.
And it's just like, okay, yeah, like you said, what does Sag Harbor smell like?
Or, what does it smell like?
Yeah.
Or, for example, Coney Island.
Yeah.
Is that really how Coney Island smells?
Well, yeah,
The shittiest dry down of all time?
I highly doubt... Oh, I love Coney Island. I love
ya?
Coney Island, yeah. I would put that in my top bonds, yeah.
Oh my god.
But, okay, Fire Island.
Fire Island, okay.
Okay, the one that smells like suntan lotion.
Yeah, that's kind of dope, actually.
I haven't smelled it for a long time, but I don't know. I've never been to Coney Island or Fire Island, but I don't know. Maybe there's some logic why Coney Island smells like.
I think of the theme park in Coney Island when I hear that name.
Oh yeah, for sure, but I don't know. I just don't think of it smelling as, like Tequila Sunrise or whatever they say the Coney Island smells like.
Okay, fair.
It's kind of like a margarita. Yeah, margarita, I guess. It's like, okay, I don't really think of that, but Coney Island, I would think of like hot dogs and vomit or something.
Maybe a prison.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Like there might be some logic, and well, yeah, like Panorama. Like, what does Panorama smell like?
Why is it green?
Yeah,
is it supposed to channel a green screen or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe the panoramic field, landscape view. But then you could have a panoramic view of the city. I don't know. That's what I mean. I just don't like gimmicky houses, and Olfactive Studios is one of the ones that's really stood out recently. A lot of people talking about it as well. Chambre Noire and a couple others, Still Life or something, but
Still Life, Lumiere Blanche, Ombre Indigo.
Nothing really stands out except Panorama, and I've got it. But Selfie getting a lot of hate. I don't know if it's because of the horrible name or the actual notes. But
okay, Selfie, because I had a sample of it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Obviously being Canadian, I was intrigued by the maple syrup note.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
So I tried it. I'm like, man, this ain't blended good at all.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So the note breakdown is super interesting. That's what got me initially.
I
feel like a lot of it is shock value, to be honest, because is this how a Selfie smells like? Maybe it is because it's kind of like a drunk mess, but I couldn't picture anyone who's actually excited to wear this.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. But maybe it is for you. I don't know. I think you should try it just because it's hilarious. Because I think it's hilariously, weird.
Okay.
But
I would like to try it, of course. There's nothing wrong with trying anything from anyone. But yeah. I just don't have high hopes for it, especially after people I know have just completely panned it, saying how awful it is. But again, I don't know if they're giving it a chance or if they're just saying they hate it because it's from that house and they don't like the house, or if they don't like it because of the goofy name.
It's the goofy name. Goofy-ass name.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned gimmicks.
Yeah.
House is gimmicky already. They got even more gimmicky with the name. And then you look at the note breakdown and you're like, this has to be a joke.
Even more, yeah.
I'm not saying it's Secretions Magnifique kind of joke. It's just this is supposed to look serious, and it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's that by Olfactive Studio, Selfie. But if you know what Selfie smells like, I don't know, maybe you want to tell us in the comments or something like that, and maybe you get on it ASAP. Who knows? Yeah. They
should have it in Toronto eventually at Sephora.
Would be nice. But yeah, I think that's about it for the Fragcast of this time. If you guys liked it, let us know, please. This is kind of aloof, kind of not as prepared as we should be, but we'd like to grow this thing, if anything.
Kind of testing the waters, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. You have anything else to say?
No, just, I do want to kind of, reiterate the fact that I do really like, the podcasting thing. You don't need to rely completely on video for everything in a YouTube video or a fragrance video or whatever. So yeah, I like this and I really hope it grows. We're definitely going to keep at it. We need to get somewhat, of a foundation behind it. But I like it. I think it's interesting. There's so many topics I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I can't even describe it.
Yeah.
Just every little thing that, I would love to do on my channel, but I can't spend half an hour or an hour talking by myself into a video camera.
You need to bounce off one another.
Yeah.
Which is definitely good because if anything, like the best interviews are conversations. We're not exactly interviewing ourselves, but if anything, we're just kind of talking as if we were shooting the shit or whatnot.
Yeah, just go back and forth. And yeah.
That's that.
Hopefully we'll get some other YouTube personalities or non-YouTube personalities to participate.
Yeah, if you're like one of them dudes on Bass Notes or Fragrantica who have, been at it for reviews as well, hit us up. If you're a YouTube fragrance reviewer and you want to get in on something like this, we'd be more than happy to, with open arms to possibly get you on. Would be nice.
Yeah.
But again, it's something different because no one's really doing this. And like Kristo said, there's a hella lot of topics to cover.
Oh, yeah.
And we cannot just do this in X amount of YouTube videos. So we might as well do it here with each other as far as them topics. So that's about it for the Fragcast this week. Anything else to say?
No, just say check out our channels if you're not familiar.
Yeah.
BetawiBlood, Kristo.
And I'm CascadeScents, Manny David. So there it is. Thank you, and hopefully we see you next time.
Okay, see you later.